Hi everyone. I hope each of you doing well. In this video, first welcome to Level Up SQL Server tutorial. So in this video, I will be teaching you um, what is DBMS and what is RDBMS. We will add R to it, and then I will teach you about SQL Server database and how to create and use database um, and drop using interface, either GUI, graphic user interface, or T-SQL, transaction SQL. Okay. So in this video, you will know everything, almost 99% of about DBMS. Mainly relational database management system and database. Okay, SQL Server database. Okay. So what is SQL Server database? Let's say we just mixing the orders between the DBMS and database. So I just want to give you what is database? Why are we learning relational information, any related information um, um, of database? Okay. So database, it can be, let's say I want to have my point laser. So this can be data, and then this is a container. So imagine database is a container, but it is electronic container. So as you know, container is physical, right? You put physical things to store a different type of files, and then put it in a big container to organize it, right? So pretty much the same thing in a database, but electronically. Okay. But what are we storing? Data, right? Last time from the previous video, we learned about data, the difference between personal data versus business data. So in here we're gonna focus on business data. But what are business data? What kind of information can it be a business data, right? So let's say a person, her name is Emma. She is 25 years old, and maybe this is her birthday, or this is where she work. Whatever information, every detail we can have, her social security, her education record, her medical record, anything about the person. Okay, it can be her salary, her food style, the medical system. This is very important for nutrition and medical, to find any issue with her cars and house she owns. Okay, this can be one data to somewhere, right? To some companies, maybe for employee, the salary and everything, from medical health, insurance or health system. This would be where she eating, her car, finance, anything. Another business type of data can be a video from the business meeting or any collection video. Okay. And or social media, like you have social media, if you have Instagram, Facebook, Google. If you Google anything, the search engines might be different, but these are Twitter or X right now. You log in with your phone number or using your Google account or any email, right? You have to use so that Facebook can collect any information about you using this app to store it in its Facebook's database. Okay. Instagram, same. YouTube, the same. Okay, you have to create an account to use Google. You have to have a Google account, right? But it might not be, you probably don't have an account, but the search engine, let's say how to cook this and this, right? How to cook Ethiopian main dish. What is Ethiopian main dish? Might not necessarily your collect your personal data, but they collect that information to store in their database system, so that other people search, they can give information. So they have that. Okay. A school, we can have the school information, the teachers, the course that the school teaches about the students, anything. This can be data. Okay. A business, data. To some, to some to school, having this kind of information, it is business. So this kind of data, to just refresh you, please visit the previous video to understand, because I explained a lot in super detail. I just want to refresh you with the what is data means. But yeah, if you have not seen the previous video, please go back and watch it. So when we summarize, so we collected different type of data, store them into container. How we interacted, using DBMS, or database management system. We cannot just access to database, or access, we cannot just access like this, like you have Excel, right? You cannot just access, like when you scroll down, you can access it right, like into the data. This you cannot. You have to learn a programming SQL, called a programming language, SQL, structure language, query language, SQL, which I will teach you in coming up in the coming videos. So S stands for structure, Q stands for query, L stands for language. SQL, structure, query language. So you have to write that to access a database, to the your data. Let's say you insert it to store it, and then you want to update, modify it, you use update. If you want to delete, you can do delete. You use, so I will teach you that. Okay, so you can so you're using DBMS. Okay, so what is DBMS? Okay, DBMS, Database Management System. There are two types of, in a database structure, there are two types of structures: relational database management system and non-relational database management system. I will be focusing on teaching you relational database management system. Yeah, SQL Server, MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, and more. Those are a database, relational database management system. But management system is a management system. Okay. So what is a relational database management system? So I'm just giving you three, but it's can be one. Okay. So for example, so using primary and foreign key system, I'll teach you in the future. So we will just break the one lengthy information into three. Okay. One thing I love about relational database management system, you break down based on the requirements, and then the specific information, and then you connect them through primary and foreign key. So I will teach you. Employee, well, I will create employee to just limit information about the employee, specific, only like specific information, so that it can be visible to everyone, or the people is must be seen. This, but not this. I can show this and then hide the rest of it, or I can show some managers can see these and these, or this, or some super very high level security guy can see three of them. So to this is very important, to hide from certain people, and then to show, to give access to certain people. So for example, if you cannot use you cannot show if you live in America, you have health information, your social security, your bank information. You don't want everyone to see, even the HR should not see. Okay, only specific employees can see. because that is safe for everyone. So because of that, we use technology. I mean, big companies using this technology for security, for safety, but also make sure, you know, doing its work. Okay. So for now, here is employee. We limited specific information to employee table, employee ID, employee name, age, manager ID. So because we break down and we have to connect them, whenever we see them, we use a function to um, connect them, and we can see this table can be here and this table, and then we can connect all of it together to use information, which I'll teach you in the future. Okay, for now, um, using foreign key and primary key, for example, employee, like I say, and then a manager ID. Okay. And then when you come to the manager table, you have a manager ID, a manager name, and department ID. And then when you come to department, we have department ID, name, description, and location. So, so here, if you see, let's say, um, this primary key or this primary key is a foreign key here. This foreign key is a primary key on here. For example, whenever we want to connect this table and this table, we use joins, which you will learn it later. So let's say employee ID. Let's say I would just start here. Employee ID 103, name, age 45, and the manager ID M404. Okay, I will immediately use give me any manager that is for M404. Okay, I will come here and manager ID and the primary key, primary ID. Okay, M404. Who is that? So that gives me information. Which department this manager works? D1011. Okay, I will come to D1011. So he works in finance department, and the description is finance operation about that company, and the location is in Mumbai. Okay, so this is the information it will show me. You will see in one line in the future. So this is I love about the relational database management system. You use primary in foreign key to break down, and then you also, whenever you want to see all connected together to get a full detailed information about a person or a thing, you can also use a joins function to connect them. So this is how powerful. Okay, what is allowing you to do that? The database management system. Okay, database management system. So here is the database. This is the DBMS, and then you cannot, like I said, you cannot access it like SQL, like Excel file, Microsoft Office. You cannot do that with database management system, because the database management system, you you can have the apps, you can have online accessing, or you can just use from your phone using Google or online website. Okay, anything you can access multiple from multiple system. It has to go through database management system to access the database. Okay, so that's why you learn a bunch of language to interact with database management system, so that it can give you any information, any task that you want to do, interact with the database, as long as you have permission. Okay, what is DBMS? Technically, database management system is a program that controls creation, when you want to create, maintains, and use of a database. So any create, insert, update, it has to go through here. Database management system can be termed as file manager that manages data in a database rather than saving it in file system, just like a traditional. We don't do that. So database is a manager. Okay. Okay. So to give you an example and why database becomes so popular and what is actually because of become popular and major organizations companies using it, what did contribute to our technology, to the current technology? I'll explain to you. But to give you a picture, so for example, you see this app. It can be on your phone, it can be on your laptop, right? On computer. You see this app. So let's say today's date, supervisor name and department, if that's due information, but at least you have access. So yeah, employee name you have access. Yeah, when did you log in? You log in, it can be on your machine, on just you don't see all of these detailed information, or you can see all of this information. Okay, so you log in to work. You took lunch, let's say 12 p.m. and then you came back from lunch after 30 minutes and then you log out or end the work for that day, specific day, at 6:16 p.m. Okay, total hour calculates it, and then what you see up front, this is, but what's going on in the back side is this. Okay, the table inside this database is posted like this, giving you the columns, and then you probably don't see it or you see it depending on the developers, how you design in the future when you become developer. And then, but the information actually collected in the back in the database inside that base table. So base table is one of database objects, which you'll see it later here in a few minutes. Okay. So what is this? Similar structure, but I just want to show you how powerful it is. So why we need database, right? Most companies and organization need a database because it maintains all relevant information such as employee records, transactional records, salary, and a lot of things. Not only for employee, for example, if you remember, if you see the previous video, how airplane can purchase online in, like, you can access it online right now on your phone or your laptop, or using an app on your phone, you can purchase any plane tickets right away, right? And multiple people can access it at the same time. Let's say airplane, let's say Ethiopian airline or American airline. Okay, anybody can purchase tickets to go, for example, from America to Ethiopia. Okay, so the Ethiopian airline will put how many seats in that airplane, post it on, put it online, and then you go as a person, you can access it via here, or anybody at the same time can access it as long as it's booked and purchased, um, and until it's full. Whenever it's full, it will stop. So the company will post whatever they have, and users like you and me can access via Google, we can access via on our laptop or our phone to purchase that plane tickets, and then once it's full, or the dates, whatever, and the company also take that back. Okay, this is what you do, how fast you get things right away, right? You can purchase items on Amazon, Alibaba, or other websites. Okay, pretty much they put their products um, from database, and then using pictures and everything, and then you purchase. Whenever you purchase, you put your information, your address, your credit card, or your purchasing card, right? many. They collect that data and then they'll ship it to you. That's that's database. That's how powerful it is. That because of that, things are fast. We get things highly immediately, pretty much gets immediately than it used to be the old age. So how many a single server? How many database can you create in a single server? Up to as in right now, up to 32,767 database, you can create a database can hold over billion records. Okay, that's how powerful Excel. You don't have to. Excel is only contains over 1 million, a little bit over 1 million, which you can see technology back then. Excel cannot connect to any website or anything, but database, it can be connected to any website. It can work with any modern languages like Java, Python, so on. Okay. So a database database is an organized collection of data that is structured into tables, rows, columns, and indexes. So you will learn this. One of the table is one of a database's object, and the number one object that is very, very important in terms of posting data to website in apps, and then receiving data when there is interaction. Okay, so database, like I said, there are this database. When I will show it to you, I'll show you so that you get to have a full picture. Okay, so database, when I say database, this is the where you install, yeah, the SQL server. Okay, this is my SQL server. These are my database. Okay, we're talking about this. There are two type of database. One, system database, and then the other one is you see are user-defined database. I create them. Okay, I create them. So we're talking about, we're going to focus on system database versus user-defined database. System database are for, and user-defined, you can create as much as you want. So I took a screenshot of this. So this is when I talk about this. Make sure you are following me when I talk. Okay, so why database? Not only for its massive storage space, but also it has a lot of features that makes it very popular. That organization actually love to use this to make money to profits, right? So one of them is database base table. So we actually put information like I showed to you in the previous slides, um, to insert the time when you log in and log out. That is the physical data that inserts in the table. And the second one, virtual table, indexes, triggers, functions, and store procedure. This you will learn in the future, in the coming videos as they get advanced. But for now, just know that there are main six objects to make it highly valuable. Why it's highly valuable? Number one, like we talk about, manages a large amount of data. It keep expanding, and also it's accurate because we interacted using a database management system. Once it's written, it's written. Okay, you cannot accidentally delete it. You have to delete by writing a language, which you will learn at in the future. Easy to update. You can easily update. Let's say you have 1 billion, right? And then you want to only want to see or delete or update that is in, let's say, 5 million row. In a 5 million, a single row that is number 5 million or 501 million. So you can singly extract that, select from or update from this table where ID number is 501, 5,000,001. Okay. And you can do that easily. You don't have to scroll down or scroll aside like Excel and then you accidentally delete if you are distracted while you're doing that. You don't do that. You don't do that in Excel. I mean, and you can do that in Excel, but you cannot do that in a database because the management system, you have to write codes to do that. Easy to research data, just like I showed you. I mean, I just said, you can immediately, the management system can query engine, can interact, like bring you that row or one or two row. It doesn't matter where it goes. You don't have to scroll down like you do. Data integrity. So this is like pretty much like police, right? You put, when you create that table, the table inside this database, let's say one of the column needs to be integer only. So once you said, okay, this column needs to be integer only, you define that column to be integer, you cannot enter text. So this would be a police, okay? Because it said, well, when you create this column in this table, you say this is integer, numbers only to be entered. So there's no way I will enter because it's illegal, right? And it will terminate that. So data integrity would be maintained, okay? Security of data. Security of data, it can be when data, let's say hackers, for example, hackers can access, right, in Excel, but it cannot access in a database. Why? You will learn all of these functions um, to by implementing these objects, we can prevent that, and also other things. We can prevent the hackers. They call it SQL injection in the database language, but hackers are also the same thing. So they cannot hack information or access to this unauthorized person, or person cannot access this. So we will do a lot of things. So you can easily access, modify, protect, and analyze. When you see a graphic, beautiful graphs of, PowerPoints or on online, they can actually get data to you to analyze it. So you can do data scientist and data analyst. You can do all of that because data are organized, cleaned, and organized here for you to use it. So because of this, our technology is very fast and you get things easily. You can access things right away, anything. Okay. There are two types of database, like I showed to you earlier: system database and then user defined database. Okay. System database are these, and then the user defined, we can, let's say, we can name it employee database, and then inside employee we can have three tables like we did earlier. I showed to you, one can be an HR, one can be administration table, and then one can be finance. You can do whatever you want. Okay. So what are system database? These are the system master model, MSDB, TempDB. The system database are created automatically while installing the MS SQL server on our system. So these there are total 5, but the visible ones are 4. Okay, these are automatic. We don't create them. That's why they call it system. So they automatically installed whenever we want. We install MS Microsoft SQL Server on our, which this. Okay. So I will do the highlights of it. You can pause this video to read the details. Okay. So master responsible Masters are responsible for user database information, like you can create data in file path, whatever. Masters collect that information, and also collecting information about the linked server information, and account logging account information to that server. Okay. Model database templates, and it is responsible for collecting information. A template data creates a template database for all user defined database, all the database that we create. Okay, just I showed you earlier, it will create templates database for all user defined database. This always exists in them, of course. MSDB, it is responsible for SQL agent job. SQL agent job, we use SQL agent job to automate stuff. So to run, to execute things on its own, like you schedule it. Okay, every Friday, every week on Fridays at this time, run this table, do this. We give it a task. You will learn that later. SSIS packages can also be stored inside MSDB database. This is also when you advance. I will teach you about SSIS in the future. Um, so this are also responsible for storing um, um, in the SSIS packages inside MSDB so that we can automate. We bring to SQL Server and store it here whenever we want to automatically run the file, the SSIS package. So it will be stored in this, and it is also responsible for keeping database mail. It keeps history for SQL agent jobs. Okay, all SQL agent jobs. So TempDB, all temporary table and temporary variables are stored inside database. Okay. Um, so the TempDB is created every time SQL Server is restarted. So these temporary tables and temporary variables, you will learn them later. It's very important whenever there will be a very important things to know and to do whenever we do in certain situation. This is the hidden one, resource. As you see it, resource, right? The name, it contains all the system objects that are included with SQL Server. It is much like master database, pretty much like this master database, but it is read only. Okay, you, read only. SQL Server, that means modifying is not allowed. You can just, that's why they're hiding it. SQL Server system objects such as sys objects are physically persisted in the resource database, but they logically appear in the sys schema of every database. Okay, but they logically appear in the sys schema of every database. So it is hidden. POSITs do detail reading and try to understand. So we would move on to the user database. Um, the user database table can be created. So now, so far you learned about the about system. Now we're going to learn about the user database. So user database are system database are here, as you can see. Now we're talking about outside of that. You will see every time you create a user database, you create it will appear like that. Okay, so user database can be created by DBA, database administrator, or SQL developer. Okay, we can create a database in SQL Server mainly in two ways: using graphic user or T-SQL, GUI or T-SQL or transactional SQL. So graphic user, in the SSMS or SQL Server Management Studio, we come here in the database, right click, right, and new database, which I'll show you, and then make sure the database is on the master, and then we use T-SQL, or it's in different database, or make sure we create a database. We write this, and then whatever name of that database that we want. So we will create that by writing a query or language. So we're gonna do live demo. So I'll show you how to create, how to use, and okay, let's see how to create and use, right? How to create and use, how to create and use a database, and then how to drop using both system. Okay. Okay, so in this demo, I will teach you how to create database. So um, let's say create DB, right? So first we're gonna do user. Actually, first I want to show you how to using a graphic user interface. Okay, using graphic interface to create. So I want to create the first one uh, using GUI. It will be level up SQL DB1, and then using T-SQL, I will create SQL. I will create level up SQL DB2. Okay, so first we're gonna see, so like I said earlier, right, this system we can shrink it. So as you can see, this are user defined database. So two-way, one-way, right click. So as you can see, blue highlights, right click, and create database. Okay, here's the interesting part. So I'll show you a few information along creating this. Okay, get this one log and one row, and then how automatically it writes the management system. Okay, so level up SQL DB1. As you can see, it's automatically created. One, this is where we interact. This one is a log. Every interaction that we are doing in here, the system, the database management system will log. Pretty much like audits. Okay, so okay, so as you can see, so DB1. So like I say, in a few minutes ago, every database activity, whenever you create, insert, or delete any activity you do inside this database, the database management system will log every activity you perform inside this. So as you can see, the file type has to be raw data. That's where we interact. The log file, that is where database management system will log every activities, kind of like auditing us, like I said. Okay, this, if you want to partition, increase the size, whatever you want, or decrease, just want to show you, kind of like expose you to here, but you don't really have to know, as in right now, it's too early for you to know, but I just want you to know, okay? The initial size, you can do that, and also auto growth, like a space soon, whenever it is you want increase the space automatically, you can as you can see, right click the dots. I mean, not right click, but click the three dots, and here you can see, and then it will pop up here, enable auto growth. You can do the percent, or you can do it in the megabytes, and you can do maximum file size. You can do it unlimited, or whatever you want. If you want to partition, this is a further um, more kind of information, but I want you to see where the path is taking you. Okay, where do we store this? Where can we access it on? We cannot access it, but where can we see? Okay, so we see it here as a database, what we create. But what if where this is go? Actually, where this is stored? So to answer that, you can see on your PC, you can have in a C drive, and then I can follow as you can see, program files, and then Microsoft SQL Server. Inside Microsoft SQL Server, there is MS SQL 60. Inside that, MS SQL Server, and then so on. So if you want to click, you can click on this, like I said, the C drive, right? If you see on C drive, and then under C drive, there's program. Under program, there's, as you can see, Microsoft SQL Server. And then inside Microsoft SQL Server, there is MS SQL Server. And then inside that, there is data. Okay, this is where it's storing. Okay, the log file will lead you to the log here. Okay, but right now we are interacting the data. And then once you create here, and then you said okay, and then re-click it again, the file name will appear. Okay, here. So for now, okay, click here. So refresh, right click here and refresh. So the level up DB1 is created. If we want to see it again, make sure you're not inside, but when it's solid, right click in properties. Okay, make sure it's properties, and you can do on your time, you can go visit all each section, but right now, for time being, this is what I want you to focus. As you can see, here is, okay, here is the file to, and then the file name .mdf is where your master, which is on primary, and that's your database, and then the log is .ldf. Okay, so where can you see this? Here, like we said earlier, this PC, and then I come to C drive. Okay, and then from C drive, I will get into program files. Under program files, I will come Microsoft SQL Server. And then under Microsoft SQL Server, here is what I do. And then MS SQL Server, inside that, here is the data. Data contains, as you can see, level up SQL. You cannot open it. If you want to open it like Excel, you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot do that. So, but as you can see, level up SQL, um, level up DB1 in the log, any database. As you can see, let's see, Addis Ababa University, and then you have Addis Ababa University, Bahar Dar School log. I just want to show you one or two. So Ethiopia database, Ethiopia log. What you can see here, so you cannot access it. As you can see, you can only access it via database management system. So here, okay, right? Like earlier, Addis Ababa here, Ethiopia, a business. As you can see, you don't see the logs or anything in here. Okay, so that's one way you create using a graphic user interface. How about creating a table using T-SQL? So we can do, now I would create level up SQL DB2. Okay, so what I do, create, okay, database, and then whatever name that I want to give it. Level up SQL DB2. Okay, and then you can see this is a different database. As soon as I click it, actually, don't worry about it right now, but I will create the same thing. Okay, click, and now it's created. I will come here, refresh. Okay, so as you can see, DB2. If I want to click and see, right click, properties, and go files. As you can see, the same um, structure that you see. Okay, the owner will tell you who created this database, your user ID and log, the log, whatever you use to log in, that will show you. Now, we learn how to create, right? Learned how to create, right? Now, how to use DB. Okay, so in order to use DB, let's say I want to be, you have to be inside. How do you know you are inside? This is will show you in SQL Server. Okay, so in order to be using graphic users, let's say here, and then I just highlight this, and then I will click a new query. And as you can see here, if I want to use switch it to DB2 using T-SQL, what I just have to write use, and then just the name, level up SQL DB2. Yeah, so I just click it. So here's how it's switched. I just highlight this, right, and then execute, and then switch. I want to do it again by using other, let's say master, right? We are in master right now. So click here. So switch it back. We're telling it what to do. Okay, as a developer, you want to practice using T-SQL. Communicate with this the database and objects, its object. You want to do this writing practice, writing codes. Okay, so now you learn that. Now we're gonna drop. Okay, how to create. You will learn how to create and um, um, how to use, and now how to drop. How to drop. Drop. Okay, you can do comments by two if you want to, so that you don't want to error. Okay, so to do the drop, we do two things. Let's say if we're using GUI, I can right click, and then I just have to do drop and see if it's not open another session. Okay, okay, this is another session just in case. Make sure it's not open anything, another session two. Okay, so right click, not inside, but right click, and you can do delete. So when you delete objects. Okay. Okay. Now refresh. It's already immediately gone. So you just refresh it, and it will show you there is no. That's using graphic interface. And then if we want to drop using T-SQL, you just have to say drop database and then the name. Develop SQL under DB2. Okay, so I'll just highlight and drop. Okay, so as you can see, it shows you here, but as soon as refresh it, right click, and the refresh will be gone. Okay, so as you can see in the level up section, there's no level up SQL DB2. So to summarize, You learn about what is DBMS and RDBMS, Database Management System, and Relational Database Management System. And also you learn about SQL Server Database. You learn how to create, use, and drop database using graphic user interface into SQL, and then the file path where they go. Okay. When you get to work, they have their own storage in the back. So as long it's the same thing, it's just you follow the file path. Okay. Question for you here to help you understand what you have been learning in this video. Can you explain what is DBMS? And I did not write it on here, but also what is RDBMS? Using your own words, what are the two types of database in SQL Server? What are system database? Can you explain each system database's task using your own words? What are user or what is user-defined database in SQL Server? How many database objects are in a database? Name each. Create two user-defined databases using one great using a GUI, and then the other one to SQL. So if you do that, you will know almost everything about database, especially in SQL Server database. All right. Thanks for watching, and please watch more videos. And I'll be producing a lot of videos, and then for you. So use this to learn. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.